Look at that, I'm back, but with a sweater this time. It's crazy. By the way, my pin today, it might be my favorite extinct animal. It's not like a dinosaur, it's the dodo. I got really sad when I was a little kid because I saw stuff about dodos and I found out they were extinct, and my dad explained to me that meant there was no more and there would never be more. And I cried. I cried when I found out I would never get to see one in person. We'll kind of talk about the human impact on the environment coming up in the next few videos. And that's one of them is extinction. But yeah, that'll be your fun time when you watch my videos. You can see when I make new ones if I'm wearing any kind of good pin. The answer is yes, I am. I am wearing a good pin. So today we're going to talk about not pins and not liking and subscribing and how much that helps me out. You know, I'm just going to say that forever now. We're going to talk about animal communication. So again, I wish we were in class because it's much better to have these discussions in class than just to watch me. But we got to deal with everything, don't we? We just got to deal with it. All right, let's deal with it. So animal communication, I want you to stop and actually think for a minute. You can jot some stuff down on a piece of paper. You can just think to yourself. In class, we would do this and discuss with each other. And I promise you, every year there's someone that has like such a good, awesome idea. We'll probably look at this in class and try to discuss in class because I'd like to hear what you have to say. But anyway, what are some ways you can communicate with another person? What are some ways you can communicate with an animal? And how do you think animals communicate with each other? So take a minute. You can pause. Look at it. Think about some of the answers to these questions. And then we'll kind of discuss them because I bet you do have really good ideas. So I'm not going to answer those questions, by the way, because I would like to do them with you in class, and I want you to think about that. So it'll spoil it if I tell you things. Okay, so let's talk about animal communication. I mean, like everyone always thinks you watch cartoons that they just like secretly have their own little language. We talk to each other when we're not looking, and in a way, animals and even plants do have their own little secret language. In fact, I think there might be a documentary literally called "The Secret Language of Plants." Bacteria have their own little secret language, but for plants and bacteria, their language is chemicals. Different from pheromones that animals communicate with, but plants and bacteria will release certain chemicals, and the other plants or the other bacteria will pick up those chemicals and absorb them into their cells, which causes a change to happen. So even those creatures have a language. They have some way to communicate with each other. Animals can communicate in a variety of different ways. They can communicate through sounds and gestures, like I'm communicating to you right now through sound. Animals, when they like bark or growl or something, they're not saying a word. Like you can't literally get like a universal translator and all of a sudden this bark means this and that bark means that. But their sounds mean things. Like if a dog is growling at you, it means back up, no. And then, I mean, for dogs, for example, they have different barks. Like a bark might be friendly and playful. It might be like, I'm hurt. It might be aggressive and stay away from me. They also have gestures. Like I'm using dogs as an example because I think a lot of people are familiar with dogs more than maybe other animals. But like a dog can sit and wag its tail at you, and that lets you know it's happy or it's interested. Or if its tail goes down between its legs, it's like, I'm nervous or I'm afraid. Or if their ears are pointing a certain way, I'm listening, or if their ears go back, or it means I'm aggressive. Same thing with cats. I have cats. I love dogs. Okay, don't get me wrong, but right now I have cats. If their tails are swishing, it kind of means the opposite. They're a little angry. And if they're happy with you, they kind of look at you and like close their eyes and blink at you really slow. And it shows that they trust you. That's so sweet. So animals do have their own sets of ways of communicating with you. One common way that certain animals communicate is through pheromones, which are chemical signals that they can leave that say certain things, like I'm looking for a mate, or this is the way home, or this is my home, not yours. So like, do you ever see ants walking outside and how they're like always in like a little line? Like, what are they doing? They're not looking to be like follow the leader. But when an ant goes out to search for food, it will leave a chemical trail of pheromones behind it so that other ants can follow that trail to the food and back without getting lost. I have a bee up here. I'm going to put this for class. I can try to link it in Google Classroom, but you're on the internet right now. Look up a video of bee dance. So bees actually have like they call it a dance that they use to communicate where food is. So if they're like kind of doing like a really like crazy shaky dance, they're like, food is really close. There's flowers really close. But if they found flowers and pollen and nectar kind of far away, they'll do a certain specific dance to show how far it is and how far away it is and the direction for them to go. I know you're like, Miss Huff's getting excited over nothing. I'm like, that's exciting. They're bees. They're like this big. Their brain is the size of like a dot. And yet they have a complex way of communicating, hey, I found food. Here's how you find it. You have to go this far away and it's in that direction without saying any words. Imagine if I asked you to show, you can't write anything either, but you have to show someone in the classroom where something is without using any words. And you just have to use gestures. We maybe can do, we have fingers, we can point to stuff. They use a dance. I just think that's so cool. If you don't think that's cool, well, I mean, I guess that's your opinion. But still, that's really cool. So I just want to show you some other ways how animals can communicate something like maybe territoriality. Like, this is my area. I want this female. So they might have aggressive behavior, like, oh, I'm getting hit by this deer. They might butt heads to compete for a female. Giraffes literally smash their necks against each other to sort of communicate, like, hey, no, I get this female. No, I do. Kangaroos will fight each other. If we were in class, we would watch them. I probably will show you some videos in class. You don't need to hear the noise. You just need to see the action because it's really exciting. Animals can communicate different things with their body, like their coloration, their gestures. So like birds of paradise, like this one, will do this elaborate like weirdo dance, kind of like we saw with the anole. In class, they'll do these weird dances to attract a mate. And if she's not impressed, she'll just, nah. It's like maybe, you're like, oh, he's got some like cool clothes on. Look at the shoes that guy has on. I've never had one of my friends say that about a guy that she thought was cute. So just saying. But these bright colorations can be a warning. They can be to attract females. So that just their bodies themselves can communicate things. Also, I just think the peacock mantis shrimp is really cool. They have all these like really cool colors, and they're like super aggressive and cool. So I just wanted to talk about how animals can communicate, the idea of territoriality. So kind of having maybe an aggressive behavior to show like, this is my area. You need to go find your own. Back off. This is what, preview, what we'll talk about later. So if you have questions about animal communication, you can reach out to me and we'll work on stuff with that and talk about it. But I hope that helps you understand. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.